Today, we will talk about an exciting story that many people may ask about. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke about the just and righteous king. His name is Dhul El-Qarnayn, who ruled the east and west of the earth, meaning that he ruled the entire earth. During his many travels, he met the corrupt people, and they are Ya'juj and Ma'juj. Welcome, all of you, my friends, to the first video on our humble channel. Dhul El-Qarnayn, on one of his journeys, reached to large dams, and at these mountains, he met people residing in this place, whose language was incomprehensible and strange. Perhaps they are people who speak a language, and it's the first time they hear it, or its language that no one else uses. They spoke to him and said some phrases, but they were completely incomprehensible to him because it was a strange language. But somehow, Dhul El-Qarnayn was able to understand what they were saying, and he was able to understand them. And they were trying to tell him there are people called Ya'juj and Ma'juj who corrupt everything they encounter and kill and get rid of every life they find in these places. Can you, a powerful king, help us and put them between us and them and rid us of them?
قالوا يا ذا القرنين إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض.
And we will help you make what you want to build this dam. At this time, Dhul El-Qarnayn was one of the most powerful kings on earth, so he certainly had no need for what they were going to offer, and he owned a lot. The response came from Dhul El-Qarnayn here. I will do everything I can and everything Allah enabled me to do. He told them that I will build a fall, not a dam. The backfill is much stronger structure than the dam. Dhul El-Qarnayn began to implement and order the iron. Collect all the iron you will find in front of you. When you find that it has reached the height of the two mountains, light the fire and start melting the iron. And when the iron turns into molten iron, freeze the copper to make it a mixture of molten iron. In this way, we obtain strong steel and make a strong backfill. This way they will not be able to climb it or even pirate it. And with the permission of Allah, and by granting me the power, I will be able to save you from these tyrannical people. After many and many attempts, Dhul El-Qarnayn was able to successfully build this backfill and get rid of their evil and corruption on the earth. All thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj will remain under this backfill until Allah permits their exit at the end of the world. And after a period of time, the Abbasid Caliph, who was al-Wasiq Billah, dreamed of a nightmare, which was the emergence of the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj from this backfill. This caliph was the caliph of the Muslims from the period 227 AH to 232 AH. And after he woke up from his sleep, he invited all his ministers and advisors to tell them about this dream and what he should do. After many decisions and consultations, they concluded that they would send a delegation to the dam to provide this dam for themselves. At this time, it was known that the dam of Ya'juj and Ma'juj existed in North Asia. After many consultations, they agreed that this trip would be led by Salam El-turjman. He is a Muslim traveler from the capital of the Abbasid Empire, Samarra in Iraq. He was called Al-Turjman because he speaks 30 different languages. Salam will be the most suitable person for this trip, because they will pass through many countries during this trip. The Abbasid Caliph began preparing for the trip by giving him 5,000 dinars to Salam, and he gave him 10,000 for his job, and with him were 50 strong young men. Every young man was taken from the Caliph 1,000 dirhams, plus a full year's salary in advance, plus heavy clothes to protect them from the extreme cold in North Asia. He prepared 200 meals to carry food and drinks for them. After Salam El-turjman and the strong young men completed their preparations, the journey began to the dam of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. The journey began in Samarra, in the north of Armenia. It was part of the Islamic State at the time and its capital, Tiflis. They continued to move from country to country until they reached the country of the Khazars in the Caspian Sea region and stayed there day and night. The Khazars king was not satisfied with just hosting them. He sent 5 guides with them to tell them the way. They continued to move towards the east for 26 days until they reached a black stinking land, because the 5 guides knew this. They prepared themselves, and the mission was vinegar. They brought a cloth, placed it on the traveler's face, and sprinkled a little vinegar on the clothes so that they could complete the journey and breathe well. In this land, they continued to move for a full 10 days. After they finished the journey in this black stinking land, they arrived in a land full of destruction and devastation. The guys told them that these cities were the cities to which the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj would come and destroy them and plunder everything in them. And since this time, they have been in ruins. If I got a good views and likes to this video, I will publish the second part as soon as possible. This is because editing and preparing for all of this is very difficult and hard. I love to share with you all the difficulties I face. You can tell me in the comments what things you want to change, add or remove. In the end, I thank you for staying until this moment. You are my best friends. Goodbye.